especially when you've watched the documentary on called was it Making Kratos or something? Yeah, amazing game. I mean, the two lead performances by the guy who plays Kratos and the guy from mid-90s that plays Atreus. I mean, they're just amazing. The story is like the perfect length. It's like 18 hours or something, you know, like the perfect story. There's, you know, just enough exploration, just enough, you know, it's linear enough. The characters are all interesting and fun. The story's really interesting and fun with loads of twists and turns and stuff like that. And it really sets up future games very well while being its own game that is just amazing. So I'm very excited to see what happens in the future with it. Honestly, I only played God of War 3 out of the original God of War games, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was one of my favorite games when I was younger. The combat in this game is amazing. I will say that you can see they were really suffering under time constraints during development because there's a lot of like reused animations and not a whole lot of variety in enemies. But what I will say is there's enough depth to the game. Like you can keep playing that God of War PS4 for hours after you beat the main story, just going around doing the Valkyrie side quests and various other side quests and exploring the different areas that have been hidden under the lake in the game. Emotional game. I mean, all of these are my favorite games because they're emotional apart from two of them. So yeah, big fan of God of War, PS4, and it's my fifth favorite game of all time. My fourth favorite game of all time. This is a bit of a different one. Pokemon Heart Gold. I love Pokemon games. I've played them all my life, all my childhood. And when Pokemon Heart Gold came out, I think I was 10, and it was just amazing. I mean, I couldn't believe that the Pokemon could walk behind you. I mean, it was just amazing, and that was always my favorite feature in the game. It made it so much more of a personal journey. It's a very long game. It takes like 80 hours to get. It took me 80 hours, like 100 hours every time I played it because of the amount of like hardcore training you have to do with the Pokemon. Like, it's crazy. You just spend 20 hours just training them up, and you still lose to Lance the Champion. I mean, I broke many a Nintendo DS in my day playing this game. But yeah, I always just thought it was amazing. I loved every part of it, the story, all the gym leaders, the fact that it's so long. There's all of the Johto region and then all of the Kanto region, and then you get to be Red from Pokemon Red. I mean, it's so cool. It's so cool. So yeah, some of my happiest memories playing that game. Honestly, love it so much. In position 3, so we're into the top 3 already. I don't know how long this video is going to be, but listen, we're just going to make enough fun. In position 3 is The Witcher 3, The Wild Hunt. I mean, this game came out when I was 15. It was May 2015, if I remember correctly. And it just blew me away. I mean, I was hyped for it before it came out. I was in the mood for a big RPG to just suck my life away. But it was like more than I expected. I mean, the amount of the side quests were like main quests. There was so many of them. You know, the Witcher quests are like, you know, there's real stories to all of these quests, and they just feel like part of the main game. You can't believe like how long some of them are. There's so many side quests in this game. Ridiculous amount of content to go along with the main story. I mean, so many areas and things to discover. And the fact that before this game came out, The Witcher was a linear series, and it just turned it into an open world, fully fledged, with sailing across different lands and fast travel, and still kept it like a 10 out of 10 game. The combat's amazing. There's real depth to it if you play it on the harder difficulties, where you have to make potions and find plants and herbs was amazing. But the Blood and Wine DLC, I mean, that was a different level. So now we are going to switch to the chewing gum for the last two games. If you don't like chewing gum, I'm very sorry. I always fly through packets of chewing gum as well. So in number 2, my second favourite game of all time, we have Skyrim. Listen, what a shocker! Skyrim's up there. I mean, it's been one of the best games ever. It is one of the best games ever made, and always will be. Also, in case you didn't know, water with chewing gum is a godsend. But Skyrim, I mean, it's next level. I mean, the sheer amount of hours that you can put into this over and over again. I mean, during lockdown I did another 100-hour playthrough. It's got to be like my 6th or 7th playthrough of the game. I mean, it's just so replayable. And you find new stuff all the time. Because when I was younger I used to be lazy and I used to fast travel everywhere. So right now, like, I always find more stuff in the game, and there's always stuff to read. The sheer amount of books to read and stuff like that. I mean, the content is limitless. The combat's a bit, poor, but I mean, the map is amazing. The lore and the world and the different guilds, like the Dark Brotherhood and the companions. The main quest line. I mean, the dragon stuff. Dragons are the coolest thing ever. You get to kill dragons. Yeah. Skyrim, undoubtedly one of the best games ever made. I don't think anyone's going to question that ever. Nobody hates this game. It's the best game ever. Well, second. In my opinion, the second best game. Finally, we have arrived. This is the moment everyone has been waiting for. The Last of Us. The first one is my favourite game ever. This game makes me cry. Like, I've never cried before. I mean, the scene where Ellie runs away and she's in the house and her and Joel have a fight. I mean, that scene gets me every time. The scene where Joel gets impaled. I mean, this is a 7-year-old game. I hope I'm not spoiling anything for anyone. I mean, this game affected me so much as a young, like, I was 13 when this came out. And years after it's come out, like 7 years later, I'm still going on about how good this game is. It's amazing. The combat is visceral and violent. The world that Naughty Dog created. I mean, this game is a smash 10 out of 10. Class, like, amazing game. I mean, there's nothing about it I don't like. The combat's fun. The story and the locations and the journey you go on in this game is just like, you just want to see it all work out, and you get so invested and so emotional. And the world doesn't care, and you meet so many different amazing characters. So many moments in this game. That was one thing about The Last of Us 2 that kind of annoyed me, was that there was only maybe 2 moments, 3 moments that really got me, my tears, going. Other than that, they went for sort of more of a, this world doesn't care about its characters, it's visceral, it's violent, it's, this and that. Which the first one did a little bit with characters like the 2 brothers that you go around with for a while. But, I don't know, it was like the world was hell in Last of Us 2. The whole world is like evil. And it's, really an awful place. But in The Last of Us 1 there was hope, and it's an innocent story, and you want to see Joel do well. You want to see him connect with this girl, and you want to see this girl make it, where she's going. I mean, this girl's 14 and she's, like, killing people and stuff like that. I mean, it's amazing. Not that is something I like. I mean, just the intro to the game is enough to make, like, is to level any man. Most hardened men couldn't live through that intro. It can make anyone cry. I mean, Troy Baker his performance in that scene is just amazing. You know, he used to be my favourite voice actor for a long time because of it. So again, The Last of Us, a 10 out of 10 game. I mean, I could play it 100 times. It is just, to me, it's like the pinnacle of gaming. I mean, it came out on a piece of hardware from 2007. 2007. You know, and still looked amazing, and the PS4 version looks amazing as well. You know, Naughty Dog, they smash it out of the park every time they make a game, all the way from Jak and Daxter, the precursor legacy, Jak 2, Jak 3, Jak X, on the Uncharted series. I mean, these guys can do it all, you know. So that's my top 5 games of all time. I want to do more videos where I talk about games and movies. I also want to do a video about being more like up close and personal, because I don't know. I always liked. That's what always gives me tingles when I watch ASMR. I want to do some more sound assortments.